Right, well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Cabinet meeting on the 14th of September. We've got quite a packed agenda today, and it is nice to see so many people, especially some of our new starters with us as well. So running down the agenda, then we'll go through the register of attendance and apologies for absence, and I'll pass over to Graham, please.
Thank you, Leader. We've received apologies for absence today from councillors Annie Mason, Robert Reid and Linda Wootton. Apologies, Councillor Wootton is here today. Sorry. In terms of register of attendance, I'd just like to confirm attendance of Cabinet members, starting with Councillor Callum Cook.
Present.
Councillor Barry Dobson. Councillor Dr. Peter Mosley. Councillor Nick Robbins. Councillor Adam Stokes. Present. Councillor Rosemary Trollope-Bellew. And Councillor Wootton.
Great, we're moving on to the next agenda item then. The minutes of the meeting held on the 13th of July 2021. They obviously stretch from pages 3 to 7 in the agenda pack. Do we have any comments or clarifications on these minutes? Councillor Robbins is going to propose. I'm happy, and Councillor Trollope-Bellew will second. So all those who are eligible to vote, can you please indicate if you are in favour? That is unanimous. Therefore, moving on to the minutes of the extraordinary meeting held on the 17th of August 2021, stretching from pages 9 through to page 13. I'm happy to propose those minutes, and Councillor Dobson has seconded. So all those in favour of those minutes then, please. And that is unanimous by those able to vote. Disclosure of interests. Obviously, if you do have any items that you wish to disclose at any point in the meeting, please do not hesitate to disclose that. Otherwise, we do have your standing register of interests on our council website. So moving on to items for Cabinet decision, which are key. And the first agenda item, therefore, is item 5, which will be the statement of community involvement. And I'll hand over to the Cabinet member for planning and planning policy, please.
Thank you, Leader. So I'll bring to you today the statement of community involvement, which I will refer to as the SCI for brevity going forward. The SCI sets out how the public, organisations and others will be involved and engaged in the preparation on local plans and planning applications. It also sets a standard as to how the council will consult and report back to those engaged in that process. But why review the SCI? Well, the Planning and Compulsory Purchase Act of 2004 states that legal planning authorities are required to produce one, and it includes minimum requirements. The current SCI was adopted in 2018, and due to our own published local plan, a review of that local plan and the revised national policy and planning framework, and of course the COVID, the council is updating the SCI. We've consulted for 6 weeks on this SCI, although not required to, between the 5th of February and the 16th of March. It is good practice to do this, which is why we did it rather than not. So in that consultation period, we received 24 responses from various consultees, and the SCI refined, taking on board those comments received. The key changes really from the old one of 2018 and this one before you today, they are listed in Appendix 2 in your agenda packs today, which is on page 51. Just a brief overview, there's an updated COVID guidance, updated regulations for GDPR, and a broader consultation methods that we used. So really, finally, what I'd like to do is to thank the team in compiling this comprehensive report, to Shazza Brown in planning policy, Jake Horton, and to Carol Jury amongst the leads. And it's therefore recommended that the updated SCI for 2021 be approved.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Councillor Robbins. I think I absolutely agree with the comments that you've made. I think it's absolutely vital that we do engage with our communities, and particularly with interest in planning. And I know particularly us as elected members as well, it's also critical for us to be engaged in that process as well. So I'm very happy to second your recommendation. Do you have any other further comments on this report? No? Then I'm happy for us to move to a vote. I think you've got away nice and lightly there, Nick. And for all those in favour, then please indicate your indication of support. Wonderful. That is unanimous. Thank you. Therefore, moving to items for cabinet decision, which are non-key, and we're moving to agenda item number 6, which is the localised council tax support scheme 2022 to 23. And I'll hand over to Councillor Stokes, please.
Thank you, Leader. I'll try and be as brief as Councillor Robbins. So the report reviews the current localised council tax support scheme and the statutory duties required to continue with the scheme for 22-23. One of these duties is to undertake a consultation for the scheme for that year, which includes all those in receipt of the council tax support and key stakeholders such as members, parish clerks, and local support services such as citizens' advice. A full report was presented to the FEDCO committee on the 29th of June 2021, which provided full details of the current scheme, the ongoing challenges that the pandemic has had on caseload volumes, and the general direction of demand. That committee requested specific modelling to be undertaken. The findings was presented again back to them on the 20th of July 2021. As a result, the recommendations for consultation were given, and this report provides details of the intention to proceed with the full consultation as required within the statutory process. So I'm asking Cabinet to approve the commencement of the consultation for the 22-23 localised council tax support scheme on a no change basis, and to consider the outcome of the consultation findings prior to making the recommendations of the final scheme to full council. Thank you, Leader.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And I think just to reiterate as well that the South Stephen scheme is one of the most generous within Lincolnshire, and that is obviously what we do politically here in terms of how we support our residents. And I know following your work and that of the teams is that there's been extensive consultation undertaken, not just with recipients of this support scheme, but also all members, parish clerks, citizens' advice, and the FEDCO committee as well. Do you have any further comments on this report? Well, I'm happy to second that, and all those in favour, please do indicate. And that is unanimous. Therefore, moving on to items for information. And we are going to have a finance update report. Initially, though, I'm going to bring in Graham just to explain the process about this and why it's on the agenda as it is.
Yes, thank you, Leader. Just to apologise to Cabinet for the omission of this item from the agenda when it was originally published. And that was an error within my own team. So just like to take responsibility for that and apologise to Cabinet. It's been added as an additional item in accordance with the Constitution, so it can be considered today.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Otherwise, we'll hand over to you, Councillor Stokes.
Thank you, Leader. Yes, so this is the first of a series of budget monitoring reports that I will present to the Cabinet during the course of this year. It includes the first forecasting work that has been undertaken, and this time includes a projected deficit position for the general fund. I mean, this is unsurprising given the ongoing challenges with the income difficulties, particularly with the arts centres and the car parking income. However, this situation will continue to be monitored by both FEDCO and Cabinet during the remainder of the year. Cabinet is reminded that there is a COVID recovery reserve, but I'm hopeful this reserve will not be needed due to the number of interventions that we've put into place to reduce the forecast deficit. The report also includes update forecasts for the capital programmes and the HRA, which again will be kept under review during the rest of the year. And if there's any questions.
No, thank you. I think I'd just like to say a few words on this. Obviously, I mean, this is the first finance forecast report for 21-22, and I think for the general fund, this is currently projecting a deficit in the region of £1 million, and I think we all acknowledge the fact that we've got difficult decisions ahead. And this isn't just us here as South Stephen; it's affecting local government nationally. So what we are experiencing is very much across the industry and local government. We've got some ongoing challenges for key areas of income for the authority, and of course we'll continue to review those with our senior officers and cabinet members moving into the year. Do you have any further comments, Councillor Dr. Peter Mosley?
Yeah, thank you, Callum's Leader, and thank you, Adam, for the report. I think it's really important for us to look at this and think about actually what is within our gift and what isn't. And a lot of what we're seeing here is a consequence of things that are out of our control. And I think it's a testament to the work of the council that we've been able to keep some of these variances down as low as they are. And we have to keep being mindful of the challenges ahead. But I know that certainly the team that we work with here are performing very well, and that's shown by some very positive variances throughout there. I think if we continue to work hard, there's a lot of the year left to go yet. So it's really good to be cited on this. But I think that we'll end up in a much better position by the end of the year than we think we will, and I hope we do.
Any further comments? No. Therefore, I'm happy to second the proposal today, and I'll call for members to vote then, please. All those in favour? And that is unanimous. Thank you. So moving on to key and non-key decisions taken under delegated powers. Obviously, we do have a fair few that have been taken. Obviously, this is just for noting. So we've got the Food and Health and Safety Enforcement Work Plan 21-22. We've got the approval for the release of funds from the ICT reserve, the allocation from the government's Container Outbreak Management Funds, the loan to Bourne Town Council, and the South Kesteven annual position statement. And if I can just say a few words on one of these particularly, which is a very positive story, which is the loan to Bourne Town Council. I think we all know that for a number of years now, some local Bourne residents have been working for several years to raise funds for a high quality skate park. And as a district council, we have made the decision to loan to Bourne Town Council £62,000 to start to make this scheme move forward. So it is a really positive thing for the youth in Bourne in terms of the skate park that I know they've desired for a long time. Do you have any other comments in relation to the decisions? No, well, that is just for noting. So therefore, moving on to matters referred to Cabinet by the Council or, Councillor Robbins.
Sorry, Leader. Yeah, I'd just like to again commend the team for bringing the annual position statement that we're in a healthy 5.92 year land supply going forward.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Therefore, moving on to matters referred to Cabinet by the Council or overview and scrutiny committees, we do have one item. Oh, sorry, do beg your pardon. Cabinet Forward Plan, agenda item number 8. I'm skipping along. Obviously, the Cabinet Forward Plan is there before us. Do we have any comments or alterations to this plan? Chief Executive.
Thank you, Leader. Can I suggest, well, we're going to need to amend the date that the design brief for Stamford North is brought to the committee because of the decision of Rutland County Council to withdraw their local plan. So therefore, that would be unsafe at this point.
Yes, of course, very happy to do that. And I'm sure most of us share our disappointment in the decision that was taken at Rutland County Council in relation to their local plan. And obviously, we'll continue to work with the County Council on their plans for Stamford North to make sure that we do have a joined up approach, particularly with our own local plan, which is already adopted. But I know we'll continue to work with that. I know Councillor Robbins is actively working with our officers on the Stamford North proposals. Councillor Stokes.
Yeah, we're still on the forward plan, aren't we? So yeah, I mean, I've got 2 more reports to bring forward regarding the special expense areas. So we're aiming to bring the Bourne one to the October meeting and the Stamford one to the November meeting.
Wonderful, thank you. So if we have no further comments on the Cabinet Forward Plan, matters referred to Cabinet by the Council or overview and scrutiny committees, we do have one report, I believe it is, which is the Arts and Culture and Events Service and the Service Review and Staffing. I believe that Councillor Trollope-Bellew is going to introduce the part of this session in open session, and then we'll move into closed session to deal with some of the more sensitive matters. So I'll hand over to you, Councillor Trollope-Bellew.
Thank you very much. Thank you for allowing this item to be brought to this meeting. All councillors have had the opportunity to attend and discuss this review, which was undertaken by Sports, Leisure and Culture Consultancy, and ask questions to David Rushton, the Director of SLC, the officers and Cabinet member. Key members of the arts team also had the opportunity to share their knowledge and input into the review, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for their help and experience within this document. As you all know, the corporate plan places a significant importance on supporting communities to be healthy. This is especially important in the light of the COVID-19 crisis, and we at SKDC are committed to building on and celebrating the rich heritage and culture of this district. We listened, and it was clear that there is a great desire to continue and develop our programmes, but to remain at our existing level of subsidy of 11% of the council's budget is not sustainable. By removing duplication It will start the transformation of more multifunctional roles, such as combining box office, tourism information, customer services. The review first went to a special meeting of Culture and Visitor Economy Overview and Scrutiny Committee on the 3rd of August, and then again on the 8th of September, where the committee recommended for approval. The first relates to the structure to provide a cohesive leisure and arts service. The staffing structure is the nerve centre and requires constant attention. Councils are always in the process of restructuring their staff, and this process is never undertaken lightly. I have taken care to work with officers to ensure a long enough lead time. However, the challenging financial output for the council as a whole has meant doing nothing is no longer an option. It is incumbent on all discretionary services to consider every opportunity to reduce operating costs. I would propose that this is heard under exempt item due to its sensitivity in regards to staff. Recommendations 2, 3 and 4 I would propose are discussed first during the meeting, and then they are as follows. 2, that the Culture and Visitor Economy Overview and Scrutiny Committee over the next year reviews the 3 centres at Bourne, Grantham and Stamford with a view to determining a future operating model to enable the council to decide on the direction of the arts, culture and events service in terms of objectives, who to target and develop of key performance indicators. 3, for officers to return to the Culture and Visitor Economy Overview and Scrutiny Committee during the next year with more details regarding the different ways the arts, culture and events service could be delivered in the future. And 4, at the appropriate time, the Culture and Visitor Economy Overview and Scrutiny Committee supports the preparation of an amended arts and culture strategy to clarify exactly what it is the council wishes to achieve. In conclusion, I would like to say that South Kesteven has a proud history of supporting the arts, and by acting now, will help to ensure its future. Thank you.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Well, obviously we'll do the bits in the public session first. And I think all I would like to say is that, you know, arts and culture are a vital part of what we do as a council. South Kesteven has been recognised for a long time with this as one of our priorities. And I think it's important to note, and I know I've said on numerous occasions, including on social media, none of our centres are at risk of closure, nor have they ever been at risk of closure, because we know how vital they are to our local community. And I think it's important that, you know, we are committed to preserving the buildings which the art services run from, and some of them are extremely historic. And it has been a joy welcoming back artists, performers and visitors. I know I took Councillor Trollope-Bellew to go and see Lucy Worsley in Stamford the other day, which was a real treat. And including, I also visited the Art Centre with our director to go and have a look at the restoration and redecoration of the Georgian Ballroom, which hasn't been refurbished in quite some time. So it just shows that we are investing in our arts and culture, and it is extremely vital. And of course, I'm looking forward to when we start to do the work on the strategy, so then we really do start to get the key indicators of what it is we actually want to achieve, getting more people through those doors. You know, I want to see more South Kesteven residents accessing our facilities and utilising the services and getting a broader range of users into those buildings. And obviously I'll come on to some of the confidential stuff later in the meeting when we're in the closed area. But does anybody have any comments in the public part of this meeting to add? Okay. Then under section 100A4 of the Local Government Act 1972, the press and public may be excluded from the meeting during any listed items of business on the grounds that if they were to be present, exempt information could be disclosed to them as defined in the relevant paragraphs of Schedule 12A of the Act. I'm happy to propose that if Councillor Trollope-Bellew, you're happy to second, and all those in favour? Thank you. As there is no further agenda item following this, we are going to close the public side of this meeting now.